3. Grammar. Conditional sentences type 2. Wait a minute. Is there a conditional sentences type 1? Yes, there is, and we took it last semester in Full Blast 5. This is why I need you to watch Full Blast 5, Module 2B, Lesson 2, Grammar, before you watch this video for all the details about conditional sentences type 1. Anyway, I will give you a quick reminder of this type 1 and then we will take the new type 2. Look at the first scenario. This man is a criminal. The police wants to arrest him. The policeman says, "If you move, I'll shoot you. If you move, I'll shoot you." Look at the second scenario. This man is going to work. He has no car, so he has to walk. And he says, "If I had a car, I wouldn't walk to work. If I had a car, I wouldn't walk to work." Now, this sentence right here is an example of conditional sentences type 1, the one we took last semester in Full Blast 5. And this one is type 2. What is the difference between the two? 1. When do we use type 1 and when do we use type 2? Look at the two scenarios. What do you notice? The first situation is real. The police is not bluffing. The police is not making jokes. If you move, I'll shoot you. I'll kill you. This is for real. But the situation here, the man has no car. He is only imagining the situation. What would happen if he had a car? He is only imagining that. So this is very important. If the situation is real, if it is happening, then you use type 1. If you are only assuming that, you are imagining that, then you use type 2. Okay, this is the usage. How about the sentence construction? What is the difference? What do you notice? Do you notice had here and would? In here, I used move. If I move, if you move. In here, I'm using the verb in the past. Okay, so when I say this using type 2, I say if you moved. If I want this to be type 2, then I will have to say if you moved. Okay, this is the first difference. Verb in the past. What is the second difference? I'm using would here. What did I use here? I used will. I'll shoot you. If I want this to be type 2, then I'll say if you moved past, if you moved, I'd shoot you. Not I'll shoot you. No, not I'll, not I will. No, I would shoot you. If you moved, I'd shoot you. I would shoot you. Okay, what else? One more thing. Now you remember that would is just like should and can and could and may and must. All these are modal verbs. Every time you use one of these modal verbs, can, could, shall, should, will, would, may, must, and might, you follow that with a verb in the base form. You don't add ing, no s, no ed, nothing. You just use the verb as it is. And that's it. We're done. What do you think of conditional sentences type 2? Easy, right? Verb in the past, would or could. Look, if you use would all the time, would is always correct. Always. Could sometimes correct, sometimes not. So I will not bother you with the details when to use could. So we will just use would all the time and we will never make mistakes. And we need to follow would with a verb in the base form, in the bare infinitive form. Okay. Now, it doesn't make any difference if we start with the if clause or with the would clause. I can switch between these two clauses without changing the meaning. I wouldn't walk to work. I wouldn't walk to work if I had a car. The only difference is that when you begin with the F clause, you need a comma. Do you see this comma? This small thing right here? If you put F first, you will need it. If you don't put F first, you will not need it. You will remove it. Okay, the last thing, we can also use conditional sentences type 2 to give people advices using if I were you. Okay, now we know that were is the past of the verb be. And we know that we use was with I, he, she, it. We use were with you, we, and they. But if you say if I were you, that means you are giving an advice to somebody. That means if I was in your place, if I were you, don't say if I was you. No, that's wrong. If I were you, not if I was you. If I were you, I would take a taxi. This is an advice. We're done. We finished today's grammar. Now let's fill in these blanks with conditional sentences type 2. If my best friend, okay, we have the F here. With the F, we use the verb in the past. How will you put shout? Shouted. Easy. If my best friend shouted at me, then I, and then we use would. Feel really bad. I would feel. Put the verb as it is. No ing, no to, no s, nothing. 2. If, again, verb in the past. If I, okay, what is the past of be, was, and were? Do we say, if I was you, or if I were you? If I were you, if I was in your place, I wouldn't, negative, wouldn't go to school today. You look ill. You look sick. Stay in bed. 3. Okay. This time, we didn't start with F. We started with the would clause. So, we will use would and the verb try. I would try to save money if I... Okay, this is the if clause. If I use the verb in the past. If I wanted to go on holiday in the summer.